Time to start the silent again. Let's see what the game gives us. That's where we can... Ooh, we might be able to cheese that. There's an elite right there. Let's take this. Because we have 2 combats, and if we aim for that elite and none of the question marks are combats, that elite will have 1 health. Let's take accuracy, we're looking for shivs this time. Take the free deflect. Alright, fingers crossed for no combats. Max HP up. I'm really tempted to take the relic one day, but I don't want to do it during Ascension run, because I don't know how well it's going to work. I'll take the damage. Alright, this one, if it's not a fight, this elite has 1 health. Oh! I cheesed it. I'll take the gold. Alright. You ready for a 1 health boss? Oh! So that's incentivizing to collect backstab after image. I want to take after image because if we're going shivs, then after image is so good for that. This way, because there's a thing right there. Let's make this innate. Alright, we got a lot of gold. Ooh. Yes, because this wants us to get curses, but this will sort of block the next 2 curses we pick up. We are going to remove doubt. Because we picked this up after we got it, so it doesn't impact it. We already have accuracy. I'll leave. Favorite color is blue. That's a good question. My favorite color is purple. Chat, what's your favorite color? Ooh, guaranteed potions now. Let's think. We go this way, or we could go this way. Fewer guaranteed fights. An elite, or we could go this way and not even touch an elite. Let's smith. That one, as per usual. We will dodge that one elite though, because 20. Is there a card we want to remove? No, my hand's pretty decent. We'll heal. That means for sure that we can go the elite route, provided this fight doesn't go awful. The merchant has some really cool lines too. There's also lore with the merchants. If you ever pay close attention, you'll see that the merchant's rug has a tag on it that says, "Not for sale." I believe it's a mod, or at some point might be Ascension 20, where you can actually just casually buy the rug. I think it's a mod. So many mods for this game. The only one I've messed around with at all is the Twitch chat extension one, which you can see on the Twitch logo up there. Go. Blade Dance. We got our first shivs. Let's go. Silence back to merchant. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was a mod. We have enough health. Let's do it. I'm gonna heal. Even though that gave me a curse, I just negated one, and I don't think that changed my max HP. Fortunate. Alright, this guy's a little bit annoying just because he's very strong. You also have to be careful with playing skills around him because it gives him even more strength. But as you can see, after image, which gives you a block every time you play a card, goes beautifully. So good with shiv decks. Alright, neutralize. Now it's convenient to get accuracy at the same time. Alright, he's made me vulnerable, so I'll take more damage, but not really. Essence of Steel. Much better than this one. Bullet time is not good with this. I'm gonna skip. I don't want any of those. I'm gonna smith. I feel okay on health. I'm gonna Blade Dance upgrade because it gives me one more shiv to work with. Right, after image, accuracy. Right, so this is the one that I thought it was last run, where he'll shift between forms. When this one takes 24, he'll shift to a very defensive one. Defensive one's very annoying to deal with. Oh, I should have played that. Thought I'd run out of energy. Oops. Alright, so he's gonna spike up, which means I'll take damage now when I attack him. This is an enemy where poison's really nice to have. Because doing poison damage means I don't take damage back. Okay, so I'll take all 12 damage. Oof. That changed forms, so now I can much more freely attack. There we go. I'll block all of that. Very nice. I need more Blade Dances pretty badly. Yeah, unfortunate. Didn't get much damage into him. Okay. There we go. But at least I've got lots of block to work with. So it's a matter of just kind of slowly doing damage. Ow. I will take some damage. You know, I'm gonna actually drink this. Let's go. So plated Plated armor is sort of guaranteed block I can get. Okay, I'll block all but one is better. But every time I do take damage, it does knock that down. Unfortunate. And he transformed, okay. Might cycle through more time. Take 1 damage. Okay, this is better. It was smart to use the plated armor. And neutralize. Alright. It's like 3 damage, I think it is, yeah. Hey, Dance, hello. There we go. Not awful, not great. Fine, though. Die is a nice card to have. We're going for curses this one, apparently. Okay. Elite that way. Okay, we're gonna go up this side here. Aim towards that elite. Alright. Alright, so with these enemies, you have to do 3 attacks in 1 turn in order to knock them to the ground, otherwise they just they stay up there. And when they're flying, they take less damage, which is very annoying. So it'd be a very nice build to have Caltrops with Caltrops basically is like spikes and it does damage back to them when they attack. Very nice to have that right now. Alright, that's 2 of 3 dead. Very nice. Yeah, I can knock you to the ground, which is good. That would have been a really great hand. One to have damage in. This turn he's gonna start flying. It's okay, because now I have damage. Regen potion. Like Cloak and Dagger. Yeah, unfortunately, if we don't kill them, they kill us, so. It is sad, but reality. Ooh. Well, hello, shivs. That was satisfying. That's the thing with shiv decks is when you get a whole bunch of hello model, work with me. Shivs going, it's so satisfying. That's fine, I'll take the dazed. Vulnerable. fun. Here we go. Dead. Ooh, a colors potion. Some of them. Some of them are. Many of them are actively out. Deal damage. Okay, I don't want any of those. See a blade dance, so I'll take it. Card renewal service is very expensive. I have no curses in my hand. Dog person or cat person? I like both, but I definitely prefer cats. I've got another redemption I need to make. Yeah, we'll take the damage to get it out for a walk or something. This is true. Interesting. I feel bad turning him down, but there is nothing I want to remove. Oh, okay. This is fun. This guy totally is not really annoying to deal with or anything. We're gonna pop that right now. There we go. Choose a card. Dash. I'm gonna use this fight to heal up, hopefully. Oh, look at that. Endless Agony. This does slightly more damage, but this will give me more block. Let's go. I don't want any of those. So far, I've not taken any damage this fight, which is impressive for me. Oh, accuracy. Beautiful. Hang on to that. Throw that in there. That should be guaranteed. Now I take damage, but I've healed so much that it didn't really matter. Okay. Noxious Fumes. Blade Dance. Let's go. Broken Dagger. Ow. There we go. Oh, very nice. Okay, I'll take that. Duplication. I don't really want any of this. Oh, what's coming up? Myth. Ooh, this becomes an 8. Yes. Then it's a guaranteed shiv every turn, right off the bat. Oh, you guys! Hello, friends! Imagine seeing you here. Oh, don't want any of this. Ow. Oh, that's a lot of blade dances. Okay. Huh. Huh. Okay. I don't want any of those. Just gonna heal. Oh, that was a lot of heal. Okay. Neutralize on him. Hair is nice to have. Okay. I'll take this. Alright, so I've made him vulnerable, which means he'll take more damage every time I hit him. Let's see, he receives 50% more damage. Means I can do things like this. Pick skewer again. This is where she's annoying. Very, very annoying. I grabbed the wrong card, but that's fine. Still enough to get rid of her. Cloak and dagger, because it's more shiv. Go this way. Ooh, the boot. Very nice. That will make my... Okay, that's not very useful. I will definitely be playing attacks. Let's heal. So we're gonna go into an elite fight here. Ooh, that's not a great one. Hi, Sully. How's it going? Ooh, what are you eating? There. Don't ever give up. That's a good message. Just a little terrifying to hear it out of the bad guy you're supposed to be finishing off here. Drops. Ow. Alright, goodbye. Thank you. Alright, he's gonna probably summon. I think noxious fumes in this case. Just rice and beans? Sounds tasty. I will likely do something similar. I'll end up probably cooking some rice. For the 3 cards per turn. Oh, fun. Bossing, I can't do that. Curse is annoying. Oh. Very unfortunate curse to get. With the shiv build. The shiv is all about chaining together so many cards. Nothing I can do about it. Yeah, more minions. That's fine. I should be able to, hopefully, if I get a good hand, finish him off. Oh yeah, he's still dead. There we go. Already have accuracy. Let's go. Alright, can't remove that curse. Let's see if it negatively affects... No, my HP still stays permanently up. Okay. I don't have... Echo Skull is fantastic if you're running poison, but do I have poison in my build? At all? No. Regal Pillow is nice. It means I'll heal more. Backstab is also nice, but I'll take the extra healing. Do I have the time? It is, whatever time you wish it to be in this environment. Heal more. Look at that. Alright, Mr. Strong Guy. He gets really annoying really fast. I'm not even going to try and attack you, I'm gonna just defend. Take that. You need to block against this guy quite badly. Oh, one of those. Oh, this is perfect. This is the round he's not attacking. I really need to duplicate. I really need to duplicate, hopefully one of the upgraded blade dances. That would be ideal. Oh, right, he gains 5 block. I'll take a slice, it's free. Extra damage. Call that a weapon? Yeah, he's about to do. There's an attack he'll do, which is like 50 some damage. It's very annoying. A 1,000 cuts. We just need to be sort of constantly pumping damage into him. Weekend wears off. Blade dance. Okay. Let's drink this. And pump him with as much damage as possible. Not interested. Let's go. It's 1 damage, and he's gonna do negative effect. Fun. To gain more strength. 12 damage. 18. 10. Defend. Survive. Yep, there we go. One of those. I should have done this. Here we go. Alright, Blade Dance, let's go. Caltrops. Feat impossible, he's gonna clear everything on him. Oh, that he clears everything, he gains a metric ton of strength, and he gets real angry. Okay. I need to deflect quite a bit of damage here. Okay, defend. I'll live now. Broken Dagger, let's go. Barely, which is very scary. I need to be careful. Play dance. Hey. Okay. That wasn't stressful at all. Totally not stressful. That was fine. Unique curse. Dreamcatcher. Ooh, ornamental fan is beautiful for this. Pocket watch is not very useful, but we'll take it. Alright, Act 3. I like in this direction. We go like this. We'll go through a merchant early. Alright, after image. This, who are we gonna shiv? You. Not interested. Gonna take damage here, but that's fine. You need to be neutralized. Good dance, okay. You're the one who's gonna get pumped into this time. I'm also gonna put some damage on you. I'll take Skewer, thank you. Okay. Accuracy, excellent. Broken Dagger. And kill this one back here. Nearly. But I'll block all the damage. This one's probably gonna regrow. I don't think I have enough damage output to finish off these two. I'm not quite close. I'll take 1,000 cuts. That should help. Such 6 shields, yeah. It's back alive. Okay, that one's dead. Collect. Give you. And survivor block. Okay. Much better. Leaves us just one to kill. And at 14 health, I should be able to take him out in one turn. life potion, very nice. I'll take another cloak and dagger. I'm going this way because I want to hit the shop. You're annoying. This is okay. I'll take Endless Agony. It's free. Okay, shiv. Strike. Strike. Block, block. I'll take... Do you want any of these? No. I have... Oh, right, it's this thing that gives me these extra cards to choose from. Let's shiv. Collect. Okay. Dagger. Not interested. That out there, this one, Blade Dance. There we go, look at that. I'm not interested. Alright, let's see what we can buy. Oh, we can start with thorns. Beautiful. Oh, let's take the fear potion, because that could be useful for the boss. What else do we have? Ooh, time guy. He's very annoying. Alright, we're gonna go this way. Oh, it's them again. Hello. There we go. It's an extra block. I'll take the deflect for the extra block. I kind of like this one because it gives me extra cards to play with without actually making my deck bigger, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Nothing to get me more cards. Cloak and Dagger. These are both low enough. I should, if I get the right hand, be able to take out both of them. Yeah, when it attacks me, it'll be dead. Not quite fast enough because this one's still alive, but this one will regrow. Alright, let's see. Oh, this is much better. You get that. Good. Take a dagger spray. AoE. Ooh, this is a fun enemy. So this one only lives for 5 rounds. Don't kill it by then. Then it just disappears. Self-destructs. I believe there's an achievement for I think there's an achievement for killing him. It's just so hard to do. trick is really just to survive and hit it enough times, because every time you hit it, it lowers the amount of damage it's going to do. Could be a problem this time. 36. $26, that's much better. Skip. There we go. Okay. Well, let's weaken you first. Neutralize. Damage. Strike. Strike. Die, die, die. 24. 18. I live. Barely. But it's almost dead anyways. One last turn. I say I need blade dances. $21. I block enough damage. Agony. Dead. Do I have endless agony in my hand? No, I don't. I'll take it. We're not going to touch the elite because, ow. Gonna heal. Do we want any of these? Another deflect just for more block. Alright, question marks. Alright, spin the wheel. This comes with the risk, I believe, of insta-death. Ow. Okay, only 8 HP. I'll take that. Oh, door-to-door salespeople. I remember doing that as a kid for Girl Guide cookies. Weirdly scary, really scary thing to do. Now, we're gonna go this way so we can dodge the elite. Ooh, that's not fun. But bottled flame means we can stir with something. There's neutralize. Go this way because lets us dodge an elite. Oh, this is a rough one. Okay. I mean, there was an adult with the group always. Yeah, interesting memories doing that. Ow. I'm gonna take this one. Fingers crossed I get it fairly quickly, because I can explode all these guys at once, which will make my life much easier. Or not. Okay, that's dead. We're gonna soak damage into him. Fingers crossed. Fun, okay. Block. Axe is just gonna keep growing. I know. have one frail. Fun, 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 fun. Here we go. Oh, okay. That totally wasn't slightly sketchy. I'll take another cloak and dagger. We're gonna go to the question mark. Why not? More health. This is fine. We'll go this way. Plus, this lets us smith now. I think we might want accuracy, or do we want this up? Accuracy helps with more of them. We'll upgrade that. Alright, let's go. Ooh! So this is a tricky one. Because whenever you do damage to it, it shifts. Sometimes it gets weaker, sometimes it gets stronger. As you saw there, it went from 9 to 12. That did nothing. Probably because I didn't actually change the shield. Now it's going to do 28, so I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to save those potions. I will take a bouncing class, though. Yug-Sothoth? Here it's called a writhing mass. I'm assuming that's a reference for something. Oh! Secret stats frozen donuts. That sounds amazing. We have to hit it again. Hope for better. 9 damage, I'll take that. Fish sticks are also pretty awesome. I've not found a good source for fish sticks in the new city I'm in. Oh, wow. Wow, that's a hand. Oh, that's 42 damage. Delightful. Huh. Ow. Oh, a Lovecraft thing. Okay. Yeah, I do not Lovecraft. That would be why. Okay. Let's see what we can do. 18. I'm just gonna deflect quite a bit here. Iffy stuff, probably. Fair. Fair. Right, we're gonna end turn there. We're not gonna do any of those. It's gonna do a negative effect, but... Oh, okay. Another curse. Cool, I'll take it. That's fine. Alright. Okay. Okay. Not great, but I'm gonna put poison into him because it's gonna help me significantly. Okay. Ow. Okay, 16 damage. What's this gonna do? 38. We no likey that. Still don't like that. 16 is better. Not a fan of that. So I'm gonna block more. The blade dance. Poison's very helpful, as you can see. Explosive. Scarred take. Hi, Dust. I hope work goes well. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not, so throw that in there. I'm gonna take Piercing Whale. I'm gonna take Poison, just to get a little bit of poison as an option here. Oh, just next to Curse. But I'll take the Anchor, because that means we get to take a ton of block to start. We're gonna heal. 99 health, that's way more than our base health is. Ah, gotcha. Lunch break. Alright. Are you ready for potentially one of the most annoying fights in the entire game? Alright. So I have... yeah, shivs are awful against this guy. So I have 5 moves I can make. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want any of those. But I'm gonna block most of his damage, and he'll take damage from hitting me because of my thorns. Okay. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Take this so we can do more damage to him when he attacks back. 20. Great. Okay. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Shoot. I have no way to throw a 12th one at him. Alright. This is why I threw a bunch of potions at him. Oh. That's, I mean, cool. Which gives me more block. This. There we go. We were around 12. Yes, move 12 against him. So now we're taking a bunch of damage. Now that that's reset, I'm going to throw Vulnerable and Weak at him. I'm going to save the Weak actually, but I will throw Vulnerable. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It gives me 2 more. It only does 10. Let's just reset him though. There we go, put a tiny bit of damage into him. We already have after image. We'll skip. Go. At least I still have weak. I'm very glad I didn't throw that yet. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Block most of his damage, which is nice. Alright. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 resets. I'll take Bouncing Flask just to put some poison on him if I need to. Not dead, but ow. Okay. At least he's fully reset, so let's neutralize. Alright. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 11, 12. I can do 3. Still. I will survive that, barely. Not barely. But he's fully reset, so I just need to kill him really fast. Okay, Shiv. Endless Agony. Dagger Spray. Shiv. Blade Dance. He dead. He's not the one that revives. No, he's not. Oh, okay. That's Ascension 6. That took 2 tries. 2 tries? 3 tries. 3 tries. I think that's one of the fastest Ascension levels I've ever done. Collector, 4 copies. Oh wow. What did I have 4 copies of? Was it Blade Dance? Oh, it was Cloak and Dagger. Yeah. Cheese to that. That was beautiful. Stuffed. Yep. Look at that max HP. 111. Wow. And 5 curses, which is unusual for me. Normally I avoid curses like the plague. Hey. That was fun. Let that run for a minute. Be chill. Now, sit out here.